Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III Tours and Tournaments. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be doing in today's episode is we need to replace that court tutor position, because if you remember our previous court tutor, she moved away and we never did replace her. So we're going to go ahead and put this knight in charge just because he has an excellent aptitude, so why not? And then we're going to be returning to our tournament where the quarterfinals have just completed and we're about to be fighting against him in the semifinals. I feel that we have a pretty good chance of winning this one here, even though we are injured. Although maybe that this event here has to do with our injury. We'll have to take a look here, but simply because he has that much lower prowess than us. Let's go and read this. The sights and sounds of a joust are always something to behold. The clashing of lance on shield cuts through the noise of thundering hoofs as waiting horses whinny and snort. It is as I'm listening keenly that another noise rings through the field. A short, sharp yelp presages the sound of a gathering commotion. I hurry over to join it. A ring of people surround Bezzy, who has clearly fallen from his horse before his match. His arm hangs at a rather grisly angle. A small mercy then that he also appears to be quite dazed. So we can say, fetch my physician. Apparently our arbitrary character wouldn't want to do that. 78% chance that he'll do very well, but he's still going to gain the trait severely injured. We could instead say, let's find you some help. His score decreases moderately, he gains the trait severely injured. But yeah, we wouldn't want to do this because apparently it's a double shot of stress from being arbitrary, so I really don't want to do that one. Or you say the fool should have held on tighter. Guess we'll go with that one. As arbitrary character, we don't want to do any of these things. Okay, so we'll go with that. That should help us in this battle, or in this joust, I should say. The banners flicker and flap in the breeze, stealing away the crowd's breath for a moment as I curb my horse. I hoist my lance as the previous events of the contest play back through my mind, like when another competitor fell from their horse, sustaining a grisly injury. I am on top, but there's still another tilt left. All I need to do is draw this last pass. So again, we'll probably just want to go with the best outcome here, which is this one. And we got that money. It's kind of strange we're getting this right here as we're finding out whether we won or not. But yeah, we did get that 236 from the Pope. And it looks like we did not achieve victory despite, despite the huge difference in prowess. The fact that he's severely injured, and well, yes, we're wounded, and it doesn't compare to the severe injury, but just look at the difference in prowess. Very strange how this is going. This is the second time we've lost. And so I almost feel like we just keep on doing the same event, or the same option choice, just because that's what we've been doing. But yeah, you're going to see that we're not only spending the prestige here, but this is an act of tyranny, so we already have done several tyrannical things. So our poor behavior in this joust may very well result in a large rebellion. And yeah, we're just acting terrible. Just disqualifying everybody who beats us. Though to be fair, I mean, Guilhem would be shocked. Like, how do you lose against this guy? He's clearly not the better knight. So yeah, I guess we'll go with this again. Doesn't make sense to go with it the first time, but not this time. Although, oh, okay, this is the other event here between these two. So this is John and Anfos. So the semifinals are over, and we're in the finals, but only by cheating. Essentially, is the only reason why we're here. So let's see if we can win for once without cheating. So crunch. The two lances splinter viciously as they strike home. I roll with the recoil as I was taught, hauling myself upright as my horse slows to a walk. As I shake the cobwebs of the impact from my head, the growing commotion in the crowd causes me to glance back from where I had come. My opponent John is clearly in some distress, not physical as far as I can tell, but he is engaged in what appears to be either an argument or a discussion with a hapless valet. Drawing closer, I hear a few fragments of their debate. What do you mean we don't have any more? You lost our only spare? So, apparently he's run out of a lance. He doesn't have an additional lance. So we can say, haha, get off the tilting yard, you impoverished bastard. So as an arrogant character, it seems like something we'd want to do here. We're going to lose stress from this. Or you say, John, could I offer you a lance? arbitrary character. We don't want to do that. Just too much of a justful action, and doesn't fit with how we've been playing this joust, does it? We've been doing everything we possibly can to win. Or you say, well, the contest must go on. Okay, so both of these increase it moderately. This one results in him hating us, while this one results in us losing prestige. As an arrogant character, you probably would say something like this, but either would work for our character. This might result in us forming a rivalry with him. Yeah, let's go with this one. Alright, so now we're into the next event here, Full Tilt. And yeah, it doesn't look like this is anything we need to read here. Just saying we're on top. I almost feel like we need to do something else here. We've done this twice and lost both times. Now, I don't know that actually impacts it, because it's all about the progress to victory here. And in both those times we had like 70-something%, so we do have a higher progress to victory this time than we did in the other ones. And basically, if you succeed, then it increases this success chance, and if you don't, then it decreases it. So, you know, it's not actually this that's resulting in us failing here. But I mean, we've been doing the same one every time and it's not working for us, so you'd think that eventually your character would decide to do something else. And so maybe let's go with one of these two. 45% chance of success versus 43% chance. But your chance of something going wrong is much higher with this one. So let's go with this one. That's an 86% chance that either your score increases slightly or nothing happens. This is a moderate increase, but it's riskier. So just no trickery. We've tried it in the past, it hasn't been working. Let's just aim for the shield and see how this goes. So somebody was knocked down. Let's hope that wasn't us. And it looks like, again, we were knocked off our horse. It just feels like something's off here, right? I mean, maybe it's just the randomness. But yeah, very strange how at the higher progress of victory we're still losing all these. Now, given this was a much better night than the previous two characters, he does have a wicked hangover though. But yeah, would we continue or just accept that we lost? I feel like we went with this the entire route so far. Might as well go with it. Now, I don't think we'll do it with the next one. If we lose, we lose. I mean, we are gaining tons of tyranny. I mean, if we were just look at, I guess we just look at our brother, since it's easy to click on him and just see how much tyranny we have. -40 at the moment. Now, given our brother likes us so much, it's not impacting him significantly. He's still at +90. But imagine how the rest of our vassals feel with all that tyranny. And this is going to increase it even further, another 7 here. But yeah, we're going to do it, because we've already cheated in every single one of these events so far. So we're the contest winner, despite not winning a single one of the jousts. Quite the king, Guilhem is. Wow. Nobody can match my skill. I won, I actually won. Wow. Yeah, he is just not living up to his father. Not at all. Alright, so yeah, that was not a good win. Next is the melee. We'll just have to accept any defeat in that one, considering the fact we don't want to get any more tyranny. And I expect we will lose if we can even qualify. Let's see if we can't get some favorable events here. So Feathered Entertainment. So we've seen this event before. I think it was as our father, and we probably went with this option as him, the double or nothing, since he liked to spend that money. But with Guilhem here, I think we're probably going to go with this one. Yeah, as an arrogant character, we don't want to say this. We don't really need to lose the stress here. So we'll just say I don't have time for this. Sounds like some arrogant guy would say. So now we're on track to qualify, just barely. Okay, so next event here, in about 2 weeks. And we can't do the tourney grounds again, so let's go ahead and do, we've already done the artisan quarters. So let's do the tent camp. Roisterous revelry. Food and drink is abundant during the tournament, to the delight of the attendees. 3 peasants in particular seem to be sharing what looks like an entire keg of wine. Alright, so I think we've seen this event before. Yeah, we've seen this one. So we can say, mind if I join you for a cup of wine? The temperate character, we don't want to do that. So as an arbitrary character could do this. They're blind drunk. It should be trivial to rile them up, and then they'll get wounded. And there's a 10% chance you can increase your intrigue by 1. Yeah, we'll go with that. Could do this one as well as an arrogant character. Let's go with this one. Clearly our arbitrary trait wants us to do that. And during this tournament here, our knight and court tutor had a child. He's married to our daughter. Alright, and they've had a granddaughter for us. So let's go ahead and find a name for her. Something that we don't have yet? Yeah, sure. We'll do Maria. Alright, so the next event is in 16 days. And did find out that this mayor here is a non-believer. Okay. I don't know what we'd do with that hook. We could go ahead and check out the village. Yeah, we'll do the village next. Because remember, we don't want to do the tavern. Considering that we're temperate, we could do the tavern. But yeah, I think it's more fitting to do something else like the village or even the temple. So back alley. The locals at Toulouse seem equally interested in the tournament as the nobles attending it. Some have improvised temporary shops in the ground floor of their houses, and the bowls of stew smell delicious. Above all the revelry and the chatter, I hear some more violent noises coming from one of the alleys. As I approach it, I observe what seems to be a peasant brawl, but one of them is more skilled than the rest. I'm guessing that's this character here. He's really not that great. I guess he is a peasant without any training. So we can say, hey you're my knight now. This is a diplomacy challenge with a 50% chance that will be successful. We can say, those are some impressive moves. Let me study them. This increases our score moderately. Or what are you looking at? And then we get the calm streets, increasing control growth. I mean, he's not a good knight. Yeah, I guess we'll do this one because it increases the score moderately. Yeah, we got a small increase here. Alright, so the melee begins. We did qualify, got us some prestige here. Our knights qualified as well. Remember, we're not going to do any cheating in this one, so if we lose, we just lose. And this involves him. He's one of the many, I think, that we cheated out of their victory. A clear divide has been drawn between the two teams, who stand across from each other, taunting as they prepare their equipment and whisper plans. Horses are ready in the background, the chargers winning and harumphing. It'll be a brutal day's work. So my team is sure to defeat Count Bernat's band of braggarts. And so he's one of the team leaders. The other one is Amphos. He's not over here. So glory will be ours. Alright, so this is whose team we're on. Amphos here. Another guy we cheated out of victory. Exhausted, I stagger into the austere comforts of a refuge. All around me are competitors from both sides, armor rent and twisted, swords blunted and chipped. Squires and servants scurry around helping their charges. I spy a few of my teammates restoring themselves. They greet me wearily as I slump down beside them, weary and aching. Watching from my shady position, I can see a resourceful market seller readying some hastily assembled food and drink to sell to the shattered fighters. So Burrell and John watch the seller with some hope, whilst Amphos Fox cheerfully mumbles something about a speech. So we can beckon over the seller. We'll have to spend 146 gold. It's very expensive. We'll lose some stress, and the refreshments will reinvigorate all of us, so our team score will increase. Oh, so this is possible outcomes. So the food and drink could be wonderful, and then our team score will greatly increase. You can see we don't have a good path to victory right now. We can instead say, gather round you lot, and perhaps some inspiring words will raise their spirits. You know, we're not great at diplomacy, so only a 36% chance of success. Or you say, I better just leave them to it, and our score will increase slightly. Yeah, I can say we'd say any of these, really. I mean, obviously this option's not likely to succeed. But yeah, I wouldn't say that we wouldn't do this one. Yeah, I guess we'll do this one. Let's spend the gold to try and have a better chance of winning this. And so we have a slightly higher chance of succeeding now. So from the trees, the hardy scrub shivers and rustles as I push my way through it. This copse of trees is in perfect ambush spot, adjacent to the path to a rest spot. I do not have to wait long. Bernat shambles his way along the path, clearly looking forward to a break from the fighting. The dappled sunlight glints off his armor as the susurration, I have no idea what word that is, of the leaves mask my approach through the undergrowth. Keeping my eyes on Jannotte, I eventually get myself into prime position, merely 2 or so strides away from where he is about to tread. So we can say I must be swift. This is a combined martial and intrigue challenge. So only a 60% chance of success, because he's not as good at martial as we are, but he's much, much better at intrigue. But still, 60% chance that we'll be successful. We'll gain a lot of experience as well, and we'll have to pay a 75 gold. Or the ambush will fail miserably, score will decrease, and we'll have to pay him 75 gold. I guess he's tanking us, he's ransoming us, perhaps. Or you say it would not be right to prevail like this. Yeah, we wouldn't care about that. We've proven we don't really care how we achieve victory as long as we win. Yeah, I guess we'll go with this. It's not a great chance of success, but yeah, we did fail miserably, unfortunately. So we had to pay him that gold. Into the fray. The shadows loom long as the battle wears on. The fray shrinking as contestants limp away. Wheeling my horse, I think back to what has transpired so far. Alright, so yeah, we don't really like these events that kind of, recall something you already did when it just happened. I know what I did. Events are clearly coming to a head as a tired battle lines are drawn up once more. The opportunity to stamp my mark on this contest is now. So we can say I will win a soldier's victory, martial and prowess challenge, 65% chance. And that's probably going to be our best chance of winning here. So I guess we'll try that. We'll see what happens here. The final blows. The ploy was a stunning blow. The tides shift in my team's favor. Multiple riders breaking free as we overwhelm their flank, racing away towards the opposition's camp. We can only hope they reach it before the same happens to us. It is almost impossible to call which side is closest to reveling. There's still all to play for. I can see the heralds begin to make their way onto the field to signal the conclusion of the event. The end draws near. It's a 62% chance of success. I think we got like a 2% boost there. So let's see what happens here. See who wins. And it looks like we were defeated again. Wow. Such horrible, horrible luck here in this, in this competition. And you can't even cheat in this one. Not that we would do that anyways. The trumpets sound, the crowd clamors. Competitors begin to assemble. The contest is over, and one team's moment in the sun is being readied. A herald steps forward, voice booming out across the scene. After many trials, some tribulations, and above all else, some truly spirited competition, we have our winners. Count Jannotte's team beat Count Ampho's in the contest. Oh well, we'll just have to practice harder for the next time. So I guess it's a good thing we cheated to get the victory in the last one. We wouldn't have won anything here. Yeah, because this tournament has not gone as expected. Okay. We'll get you next time. So now we're just waiting for the end of the ceremony here. We can do the speech, diplomacy challenge. Only 46% chance of being successful. We'll probably do it anyway because, we're awesome. So, of course, we'll succeed at this speech. And nobody cares. How dare they not like our speech? Alright, so we did get 150 prestige, a bit of gold here. We're a champion jouster as well, securing fame and fortune. So that's going to increase our heavy cab damage. We'll also get more trade experience for the Hasta Looter trait. And we increase opinion with the Glory Hounds. We also got 1,000 prestige, probably from hosting this. And what did we win? The prize statuette is what we won. Well, he won the prize armor. Wow, that would have been nice to have. That's a shame. I don't think we have any armor. But the statuette is a core artifact that we can use. Increases our prestige, our knight effectiveness. Mercenaries are cheaper to hire, and we get more court grandeur. It's not bad, but I would have preferred the prize armor. So yeah, the tournament did not go well, guys. Went horrible, in fact. We can go ahead and put that item in place. But yeah, Guilhem is becoming a very disappointing character in a sense. with his lack of success in wars. I mean, he won that one war, but the rest didn't go quite the way he would have wanted. Losing his allies and stuff. His lack of success in war, which is really supposed to be his focus here, as a brilliant strategist. And sometimes you have the skills, but you just can't, turn them into results. And it seems like that's the case with him as far as warfare goes. But yeah, even with his prowess, same deal. He has the decent prowess there, pretty good prowess, and did not do well. He just fails to live up to the image of his father in every way. Now we do have some money here, so we could do a grand tour next, like maybe a tax tour, since we haven't done that yet. We've only done the Majesty one. But let's earn a little bit more money so we can visit more people. And the Kaiser has been excommunicated by the Pope. That's something you saw quite a bit in the Middle Ages. Not just excommunications of the Holy Roman Emperor, but just disagreements, arguments, even wars between the Emperor and the Pope. Many of those conflicts were over investiture, so investing, appointing positions in the church, such as like abbots or bishops. But other conflicts were just about the emperor's power here in Italy. Sometimes the Pope wanted the emperor in Italy to help them against, perhaps, Sicily, different rulers in the south or the north. And sometimes they didn't want the emperor there and wanted to reduce their influence in Italy and causing conflict between the two. Burying the hatchet. Okay, so this is with our wife who we're both soulmates and rivals with. And yeah, we do not want to be rivals with her. So let's go ahead and stop that. We shouldn't have been rivals in the first place. It was just really over her yelling at us all the damn time. She has a bit of a temper. That's how she relieves her stress. By yelling at us of all people. I don't know why she yells at us and not somebody else. So solace in script. This is one of those home events here. This is this mayor. And we can say, I don't know how I feel about this. That's a diplomacy challenge. Say that I think this is truly heartfelt. Or just insult him. Yeah, I guess we'll go with this. I don't really care in these options here. And it is allotted. We didn't really need to lose stress. We don't really have any stress. No problems with that. Feeling pretty good after the tournament. Achieved victory. Never mind how we achieve victory. That doesn't matter. So we have an opportunity to sway him. So we can say I emphasize those shared interests or trying to maintain subtlety. Yeah, I guess we'll try this. There's only a 6% chance of success. Again, we're not the most diplomatic of guys, but it looks like we were successful and increased his opinion. All right, excellent. So now we're up to plus 86. So probably want to stop swaying him at this point. Also, we found out that our daughter is an unbeliever. Wow. Okay. Probably won't do anything about that, though. Yeah, I think we swayed him enough. Let's go and abandon that. And let me take a look. Yeah, we do need to sway the bishop because, he doesn't like us. Do that tyranny. Our actions were quite poor in that tournament. So just saving up a little bit of money here. We can do the war. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to do the grand tour. And it's going to be a tax tour. And the idea is that this is a tax tour to pay for the war, despite all the money we're currently sitting on. But yeah, we're gonna do the tax tour. We'll go as many places as we can. We haven't done the taxation tour. Could also do an intimidation tour, given that that's kind of how our characters become. Or he's becoming that way anyway. But let's go with the taxation tour. Let's get money out of him. That's a little tyrannical as well, I suppose. Yeah, we'll certainly visit our brother. We're going to want to visit all of those who are most powerful. So those are the two key ones. But other ones you might want to visit. Yeah, the Toulouse Dynasty. We'll go there. And then maybe this Countess as well. Oops. So we'll visit her and him. We're looking at 415 plus there's other additional costs. So I think that's probably going to be it, guys. Yeah, that's likely going to be it. Now, there are many other characters that we could visit. Like maybe take your friend out. You're not going to tax your friend. And maybe put somebody else in there instead. Since, yeah, we can only get the one more. Spymaster, we just worked on befriending him. Do we want to tax him and irritate him further after all that work on increasing his opinion? Could do her up here. That would be an option. But I'm thinking this character would be better. Yeah, let's do him. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we want to do with them. So tour the grounds, host a dinner, and then the cultural festival. So you might want to do a cultural festival like up here. Let me just see who all we're visiting. Okay, so yeah, you'd want to go here for the cultural festival. I don't know if that's actually French territory there to increase the acceptance with the French. And yeah, we'll do the hosted dinner with him. I don't know if we'd want to eat dinner with him. Let's tour his grounds instead. And then the last two here, we're only doing one dinner, so I can see doing another one. So let's go and tour the grounds here and have dinner with her. And then we need to change our order up a bit to make it make more sense. So I should probably visit him first. Yeah, we'll want to visit him first. I think that makes the most sense. So you go over to his territory, and then you go over to his territory next, and then his, and then his, and then hers along the way back. Yeah, that makes the most sense there. It's going to take 6 months to do this, total of 5 stops. And then we're at 644 now, and that's at the medium settings here. And we're just doing the essential luxuries. So you might need to cut one of those out. Could also just do a small entourage. Because what I'd like to do here is have it be a little bit more luxurious to have the increased success chance. Now, the prestige would be nice. Yeah, it's just too expensive. So let's do this option here, the small entourage, and then the extravagant luxuries. Yeah, I think that looks good. We're trying to impress all of our vassals here. Even if this is more about taxation, we want them to impress with us as well. And then as far as what we want to do here, I mean, he clearly doesn't care about justice. Probably just going to do some recreation here. Yeah, I think we're going to do recreation. Makes the most sense here for us. Let's confirm that and start the grand tour. And hopefully no wars or anything that break out that are going to disrupt this like what happened last time. Alright, so because we're arrogant, we're immediately going to lose stress. We just like the idea of doing this. Going to show our magnificent entourage, which is a small entourage, but still quite luxurious, to all of our vassals, our main ones. Alright, so this is just the starting one here. So let's go ahead and get into it. That increases the control as well. And you can see that our success chance is at 15. So already pretty close to the first level. And we have a lot of events here. A lot of different locations we're going to. I think the last one we only went to 3 locations, and then the third one got messed up. So this time we got 5. Because that was with our son here, who was our son, our current character. He went off to war. It was a knight in the war, and therefore we weren't able to visit him, if you guys recall. So this is involving this character here, a Merrick. I hardly noticed a Merrick until he was right on top of me, paying due respects to his. Now that I observe him as he effortlessly moving between, I think it's supposed to be as he effortlessly moves between groups of people at the court. His eyes are constantly awake, looking in all directions and no directions. This intrigues me. I simply must have him at my court. Yeah, he has a fantastic intrigue. I don't really see how having this character would be beneficial to us unless we're going to use him as Spymaster. So we can say, I'm sure that he wouldn't mind. We'll gain stress because we're arrogant. You can say he could just disappear into the night. So we just take him. Well, it's a 74% chance the count will find out. Or we could just say this is silly. I mean, I guess if we want him, we just take him. Seems like that's what we do. We just do what we want. So, yeah, we'll just do that. And he joined our court. I don't know if the Count found out or not. Suppose we probably don't care. And I have another inspired person here. He could form a goblet for us. Well, we don't have a lot of money to pay for this right now. So maybe we'll do it after the taxation event. And we'll also be able to do that war once we finish up this taxation tour. Poachers. As I and my entourage ride along, I hear murmurs echoing through the grounds. I order a boy to ride ahead, and when he returns, he informs me that there's a gang of illegal poachers just ahead of us. Though it is no concern of mine, it would doubtlessly ingratiate me with my vassal if I were to rid the grounds of this illegal activity. I could round up these ruffians and present their heads and hands to the Count Jannotte without much issue. So this is a prowess challenge against Jorge here. He's a witch. Doesn't have good prowess. So we have a 100% chance that we'll be successful, or we can just avoid him. That doesn't seem like something we'd do. But we don't know what will happen besides the tour success being increased. Our host could be impressed, or he could be horrified, in which case we'll get in dread. Alright, we'll see. He's impressed. Alright, excellent. So another advantage of doing this is we're going to be improving relations with our vassals. Pretty important with all of our tyrannical actions here. It's not the goal of this, of course, which is just to get some money out of our vassals. Count Jannotte has been quite the gracious host so far, showing me his lands and possessions with pride. So I'm immediately taken aback when he starts stammering and clearly trying to draw my attention away from an apparently unremarkable door we are passing by. Are you hiding something from me? I take advantage of his moment of stunned silence. Is it shameful silence? Guilty silence? To push the door open. And I'm surprised by what I find. The door leads to a courtyard filled with the healthiest, strongest looking hounds I've seen in a while. Okay, so we can say it's only fair to share this with your king. He'll pay us 50 gold. We'll also increase his feudal taxes. That'll be nice. He'll be annoyed with us. And we'll increase our success chance. We can say guards commandeer everything. That'll be a bit more gold. And your liege takes away the best of your stash. That's what he gets for him. He'll be insulted. We'll gain the hunting companions, though, increasing our prestige and our trade experience for the hunter trait. Instead, we can say a fellow connoisseur. This is because we have the hunter trait. And we'll increase our bond with him and get this modifier that can't seem to look at what it does. I hate when this does this. It's so difficult sometimes to get it on there to see what it does. Alright, so we might not be able to see what it does. There we go. So it's actually a monthly lifestyle experience gain. That's pretty helpful, I suppose. Or you say, I'll pretend I didn't see this, and he'll be grateful. Well, I feel like as an arbitrary character, we just wouldn't do... I mean, we definitely wouldn't do this one here. We probably wouldn't do that one either. I mean, as an arrogant character, we'd feel like he owes us. This is the whole purpose of this taxation tour as well. Do we have to commandeer everything, though? I don't know. Getting the hunting companions would be nice. He'd be insulted. I don't know. We're temperate. So let's just go with this option instead. Everything we do is in moderation, right? So yeah, we'll do this one. And we're almost to level 2 now, which will increase the prestige quite a bit, and we'll get some renown from it. So maybe we should be able to get that, since this is just the first location. So as I'm taken to see all the sights in the barony, I'm beginning to notice the absolute opulence of it all. Though merely a count, Jannotte lives in relative luxury and clearly has more than enough coin to go around. Looking at the sheer number of windows in his abode, I could introduce a window tax and bleed the count of his excess. Wow. And we wouldn't want to do this as an arbitrary, arrogant character, so window tax it is. And he's not going to be happy about this. Of course. Now, if he refuses, that's a crime, and we can rightfully imprison him. If he accepts, we get another 50 gold here. And he did refuse the tax, so we can arrest him for that. Alright, so we concluded our visit. And so now we can just get the tribute. Again, he has to accept that. Or he said we make no demands. We're not going to do that. So let's do that option. See what he says. He refuses. He has defied the authority of the crown and refused to submit to my demands. There's little I can do now, but an insult like this constitutes a crime not only against me, but the kingdom of Aponte itself. Alright, so we're going to want to arrest him. We'll keep on looking for secrets here. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to arrest him. He has a hook against us, or excuse me, we have a hook against him. And so, that's interesting. You can dismiss your hook. It'll cost us prestige and you'll gain tyranny. Oh, he has the weak hook on us. I didn't realize that because we had that strong hook on him. But because we're arbitrary, we can just dismiss his hook. He'll become our rival. But yeah, I wasn't aware that we could do that. Makes sense as arbitrary character. So we now have the very high taxes on him. And so that increased our taxes by a lot, doubled it, what we're getting from him. So pretty helpful in that regard. But yeah, now he's a criminal. And so we'll want to arrest him. However, we will not want to arrest him before we're done with this, because if we're not able to, which I guess there might be a 100% chance, and we can't use the hook because we already used it, and won't be able to use it again until 1152. So yeah, if he did it now, then he rebels, and likely many of our other vassals, given how tyrannical we've been lately, and therefore it's going to ruin this grand tour. So let's not do that yet. We'll deal with him. We'll let him think that he's made it, but when we're done with this tour, he's going to find out what he gets for defying our orders. So unfortunately, the Duke is not home. I wonder what he's doing. He's in a war right now? Yeah. So he's currently in a conflict here. That's a rebellion that he's very likely to succeed in. Alright. I mean, we're not the only tyrannical ruler here. Our Duke is also quite tyrannical. So unfortunate. We won't be able to pay him a visit. Which sucks because, you know, you pay to go visit him. And then he's not there. But, you know, it makes sense. You paid to go that way, and even if he's not there, I mean, I would say that he would need to come back. That doesn't make sense that he can just not be there, especially when he's doing a war here, not that far away. If the king comes to visit, you hurry your butt back to your to your castle. The toll of conquest. So my brother, my father, my husband all died in war. All right, so this is the peasants screaming at us across the village square. So it was in one of our battles, potentially to deal with this rebellion. Yeah, I think this is a rebellion here. She lost 3 generations of her family. She said, "You're no king of mine." That's interesting. These are all the characters who died here. So we can say, I can't bring them back. Perhaps some gold will help. We'll get the cared for widow, increase in development, growth, and popular opinion. Or that was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Yeah, that's exactly what Guilhem is going to say here. Not giving her any of this hard-earned money. We're just not a compassionate guy. Alright, so we're moving on to the next location, which is our brother's territory in the Duchy of Aponte. And he should be quite happy to see us because, you know, we're on pretty good terms. And we're going to have a dinner activity. And so we'll see how this goes. We did get a martial perk. So let's go ahead and select... I guess we'll do the household guard. Let's go and finish this route here before we start moving down to the next one. That'll get us more knights. Now I don't know how good our knights actually are here. We'll need to let them fill in. Yeah, let's see who the worst ones are now. I mean, really not bad. Level 10 when you have 16 knights, that's not bad at all. Okay, so I'm glad we got some more knights there. It'll help us in our upcoming war with the King of France. And our wound is finally healed. Took long enough. So that'll be healed for the war. It seems I'm not the only honored guest at Prince Robert's court. So Bosun is also there. I'll show you who this character is. But we've been sitting next to him and he's fascinating. Our conversation has left us feeling most elated. I am well versed in statecraft, but my skills are being wasted as I wander around from place to place. If you'd have me at your court, I'd be honored to call you my king. It is rare that one finds such a fascinating person without a home of their own, but is there room at my court for him? Well, he is pretty skilled. Wouldn't make a good knight. Yeah, he does have a lot of skills here. Yeah, we can have him join our court, and he'll travel with us on our grand tour for no money, so why not? And it seems that we really like him. Another dinner has been prepared for me during my stay, and it looks to be a real winner. I salivate just to look at this succulent, steamy dish, and right as I'm about to take my first bite, an irritatingly familiar voice pierces my eardrums. This is my rival. He's arrived to spoil our appetite, and his mere presence is bringing my blood to boil. What makes matters worse is that our brother appears jubilant in my misery, and has actually started laughing and joking with a sworn enemy of the crown. So we say Robert is playing a dangerous game, and this will decrease his opinion and potentially form a rivalry. Or you say I must turn the other cheek, which the arrogant character would want to do. So yeah, we're going to go with this. Let's see what happens there. He thinks this is a funny joke. We don't think it's so funny. Whenever we do these tours, there's always our family members that treat us the worst. I feel like they can get away with it because they're family, and that would make sense because we do treat our family quite favorably. So my caravan leader, Sarika, has approached me claiming to have been given Prince Robert's permission to come join his court in place of my own. Letting this pass would certainly improve my standing with the Duke, but is the insult of stealing members of my court truly something I can overlook? No. So we become rivals with our brother. Wow. Yeah. Sarika's mine. So things have changed remarkably between us and our brother. And what's interesting is he's already a criminal. We've overlooked his crimes. But looks like we can't overlook those anymore. Yeah, things are getting interesting here. By the end of this tour, we will have potentially turned all of our most powerful vassals into criminals and rivals. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but things are going to get crazy here. Now, I don't know if we have any hooks against him. We don't, but he is terrified. Hopefully he shouldn't act against us despite the fact that we're rivals now. So suspicious extravagance. We know that he's quite wealthy. At one point I looked at him, he had like 900 gold on him. He earns a lot because look at all these titles he has. He has a lot of titles. So I have been enjoying my time here, but I cannot help but notice that I have feasted in extravagance every day while I've been here. Perhaps Prince Robert is significantly more wealthy than I had initially imagined. If my pondering proves true, it could mean that the Duke owes me far more gold than he has been paying thus far, and thus I could demand an extraction. So the back payments must be made. He'll pay us 165 gold if he accepts. If he declines, then that's a crime. We say he must pay more in the future. If he accepts, then we'll increase his feudal taxes. And then he'll get a weak hook on us. Or you say, I'll let this go, and then we'll get a weak hook on him. We're not going to let it go. Back payments must be made. So we're going to go with this option and see what he says. He accepts, despite the fact that we're a rival. So earn a lot of money from this taxation door. We already have more than what we had when we began it. And we haven't even made our parting tribute yet, which will be another 165 gold. And look at this, we're at level 3 already. And this is going very well for us. And if you get all the way to level 4, then you get this modifier here, increasing vassal tax contribution and development growth in the realm capital. Alright, so let's see if he accepts this. He did. Probably because he's terrified of us. And so even more gold that we got. Unexpected wake-up call. I emerged from my slumber after another peaceful night staying with Prince Robert. As I regain my consciousness, I feel something heavy beside me that wasn't there before. I turn and see Robert sitting at the end of my bed, fully clothed. Good morning, my king. I thought it prudent to give you a gift, and what finer gift is there than the gift of my conversation? This gift is certainly unexpected, but is it really such a pleasant thing to wake up to? So you say, what a wonderful way to wake up. We'll increase opinion with them, lose stress, but also gain a little bit of that stress back because we're arrogant, or yell at them to get it out of my sight. Yeah, we'd probably yell at him. We're not too happy with him right now. Yeah, coming in our room, waking us up like this. our rival now. Yeah, I don't think we would have been happy with that. And, uh-oh. Looks like we got turned away at the gates of Lusignan. Alright, so the call is made for him to receive me, but after a time that is more than generous, not even a lowly servant appears to greet me. The call is made many times more, but received no answers, save for the chirps of wild birds and whistles of gentle winds. It has become clear that I've been turned away at the gates, and the cold-hearted count has, in so doing, insulted the crown. So we say, let's just move along. Yeah, we would not want to say that. Due to our arrogance, we can say this insult will not soon be forgotten. The count will become our rival, and this is a crime. Or we can say, break down the bloody gates. This is an act of tyranny. We'll gain dread. We'll gain a bit of gold. We'll also lose stress because we're arrogant. And we're going to become rivals with him regardless, because we had to pick one of these two options here. So no matter what, he'll become one of our rivals. And then we'll get the recently looted. But again, this is a very tyrannical action. We'd be quite upset. I don't know that we go this far, though. Yeah, I don't think we'd do this much. We're incredibly insulted, and we're not going to forget it. We're going to get him back. But as I said, like, look at this. Every single person that we've gone to, we've, first of all, gotten the ability to arrest them because they committed crimes, but we become rivals at 2 of the 3. Only the first one, I think, we didn't become a rival with him. Yeah, this is crazy, man. The way this is going. Yeah, we'll go with this. We got another rival, guys. Another vassal rival. So there's going to be a big rebellion that we're going to have to deal with, a big war against our vassals, more than likely. Alright, so we've seen this event before. So it looks like somebody is trying to kill us. Not surprising, considering all the rivals we now have. So no matter what, we get the more vigilant. But yeah, I assume we'd imprison this guy for acting against us. That sounds like a very arbitrary thing to do, considering the fact that he came and told us about it. But yeah, very arbitrary. Let's just arrest him anyway. Alright, so we have a legacy we can get. Before we do that, let me go ahead and deal with this prisoner real quick, so I don't forget he's in the prison. Just get the 10 gold from him. Or could recruit him as a knight, because he's actually pretty decent. Lowborn knight here. Yeah, that would be far more useful to get a pretty good knight. Okay, you acted against us. Now the punishment is you will serve me. So we're going to get the weak hook and we're going to recruit him. I don't know that we'll have anything to use that hook for. But yeah, we need to get a new legacy. Don't get these often. We've been working on the glory route. And if we go with the next one, then we'll get the personal scheme power plus 25%. And then, you know, that's obviously not going to help us that much because it's only with swaying and romancing. It's for all the members of our dynasty as well. And then you get the monthly diplomacy lifestyle experience. And you can make the argument we go for this as an arrogant character. However, this is also one of our warrior characters here, which we haven't had yet. In the name of spreading these out and getting the lowest level ones that are not as good as the later ones, I feel like we should go for warfare now. Increasing prowess and knight effectiveness for everybody of our dynasty. Yeah, I must feel like we should do that, because we've gotten so many level 1s thus far. So why not? Could also continue down these paths here with the activities. Some of these are pretty good. Yeah, we're going to do the House of Warriors now, since this is our kind of warrior guy. He's not quite as good of a warrior as his stats would indicate. But that'll increase his prowess now up to 25, as well as all the other members of our dynasty. Not a lot of time left in the episode, guys. We got a new knight here, though. And it's like Archbishop attempting to murder Count Borel, our nephew. What? Wow. Yeah, I feel like that can't be tolerated. That is our nephew. So we'd want to expose his secret. Well, this is some confusing text here. It says blackmail, which you're going to use for blackmail, but yeah, we're exposing a secret. Yeah, let's go and expose that. I was hoping to be able to arrest him from that, but apparently you can't. Well, that's interesting. Alright, I feel like we're going to have to murder this guy then. We haven't done that yet. I don't think there's been any characters, in fact, that we've murdered. Could have just straight up arrested him as well. Not a high chance of succeeding in huge amounts of tyranny, and of course that's going to also cause problems with the Pope. So that's his nemesis, Count Borroas. I see. Yeah, we got to do something against him. I'm not sure what. We're still trying to sway him currently. I guess you gotta assassinate him. So let's go ahead and do that, and then go ahead and cancel this, since we're clearly not wanting to sway him. And already tons of agents joined us, which is why we have such a high chance of success here. But this will be the first time that Guilhem has attempted to assassinate anybody. It's just not really his way of doing things. So the life of a ruler. Several peasants gather around me asking for stories from my life. I think back on what I could tell them, and two stories jump to mind. One, when I won the joust contest at my grand tournament, is a lovely memory. On the other hand, when I pressed Count Guilhem's claim to the Duchy of Burgundy, held by King Yves, is a more awesome tale, likely to inspire loyalty and fervor. It's really not an awesome tale because he died and the war was ended before we could press that claim. So we could tell the first story, 150 prestige. We'll get development, growth, and popular opinion. That's only in that county, by the way, which is not our county. Or you say everyone loves a war story. We'll lose stress because we're arrogant. And instead, it'll be martially inspired. We'll tell the first story simply because this is not an amazing story. And it didn't go well, honestly. So a stop on the way. Traveling through the muddy streets of Carlet, people are a rare sight. Empty houses, derelict. A child plays with a dog in silence, then hides away when he sees our entourage. A local priest points at the Lord's home, and we follow. My admired King Guilhem, Baron Dant, welcomes us in a dusty hallway. It's a big honor to have you visit our humble domain. If you'd like to, please stay for the night and join us for supper. Alright, so he's our acclaimed knight. So we say, I'll gladly accept your invite. Or we say, this is not up to my standards. We must continue our journey. Well, we're quite arrogant. We're also temperate. So we'll accept as an invite. The oil lamps cast a light so feeble that it's nearly imperceptible. An old servant serves us food, fish, unspiced. Baron Dat seems a bit too nervous, talking about the difficulties of ruling such a poor area, the impossible taxation. The last priest we had left after just a couple months, he mutters, putting away the watered wine. He promptly excuses himself to go to the latrine, accidentally bumping into me on the way. So we could say, wait, what are you doing? This is an intrigue challenge. So he's trying to steal from us. Wow. After we decided to stay at your humble, I would say castle, probably not even a castle here. So it's only a 36% chance that we're going to notice because we have such a low intrigue. 65% chance he's just going to steal the money. Either way, we gain stress. Wow. Yep, we didn't notice it. The sermon. So today, Aldebert held a fiery sermon. Oh, so this is the last trait, isn't it? Yep. Last trait for Prince Raymond. So this is the ambitious. Instead could go with sadistic. I feel like could go with ambitious here. And that's a good one because you get the points and everything. And so it's nice to have. It does result in more stress gain. So there is that. But overall, it's a pretty good trait to have. But sadistic really fits with his character so far. And it would be really fun to do. We don't get to use use a character with this trait very often. And I think that's what we're going to go, guys. We're going to go with sadistic. So we're going to take the stress gain here. And now I'm looking forward to playing as this character because this is going to be, this is going to be crazy. Now remember, he did the martial education. It's unfortunate because I didn't know what kind of traits he'd have. But the intrigue education definitely would have been better for this particular character. Now we can still go with the intrigue. But we probably want to do martial first, since that is what his focus is on. He'll probably have those perks anyway. And, he's going to do a lot of warfare, most likely. So he's probably going to be good at both. Look at his intrigue already. It's 17, and that's not even his education. So yeah, I think he's going to be very good at both martial and intrigue. I guess it depends on his martial education, I suppose. But what we could do is do the martial lifestyle for a little while, get some of the initial traits, maybe finish one of the branches, and then we can move to the intrigue lifestyle. Now, he's not going to do it very well since it's not his education, so he's going to be really slow at getting the perks there. But also, there's going to be a lot of intrigue events, which he'll be good at, so maybe he'll be able to get the experience from that. I just think it kind of makes sense for that character. Now, obviously, that's far in the future, because Guilhem is only 45 years old currently. So, a visit to the Count's Arms. Every inn on the way is equally overpriced. It's difficult to not notice our entourage, and it's not like we're making a huge effort. Everyone stops talking the moment we walk in. There's only one woman that approaches us, eager to join our table. Soon she starts talking as she offers a warm smile, and it looks like she's not going to stop anytime soon. I guess it's better this than silence. So we can say, I like your company. Why don't you join me? 39% chance will be successful. It's a diplomacy challenge. That's why not a very high chance of success. But we wouldn't want to do it because we're arrogant. Or we say, tell me more. And no matter what, we increase one of our skills. Well, that's pretty useful. Yeah, let's do that. We'll see which skill we increase. Probably won't tell us. We can take a look. Maybe you guys know what our skills were before, and then know what we increased. But yeah, I don't recall what they were. But yeah, I believe it's a guarantee that one of them increases. Alright guys, so unfortunately we won't be able to finish this grand tour. We've got the last location that we're currently traveling to. Of course, we're not endorsed by the Archbishop, but that'll be fixed soon. Still need to appoint successors here, which we have the prestige to finally do that. So might want to go ahead and take care of that real quick, or at least send off. Yeah, let's do that. So we have him set up to succeed there. But this one still needs a successor. So let's go ahead and find one using that prestige. And then we'll have to do him later. Although there's actually somebody here who can already do it. And it looks like he can also take the secondary. So let's just put the mayor into this position. Doesn't have great prowess, but it's fine. A lot of times your acclaimed knights don't have great prowess, just due to limitations there. Alright, so unfortunately we do have to end the event here. We'll finish up the grand tournament in the next episode, and then from there we got a lot of options available to us. We can go ahead and do the war, since we no longer have the truce with the King of France anymore. So we can go ahead and do a war. And let me just see here. No, we can't do it for his title yet. He's not of age. But we could do it to get our son back under our control, since he's under the King of France. Probably wouldn't be very happy with that. And so yeah, we could try and take over that. Let me just see if that's even an option. Well, we're at the activity, so we can't even check at the moment what wars we can do. But yeah, there's a lot of options for wars with the King of France. So we could do that, or we can deal with all these damn vassals here, who are criminals. Our brother, most of them, in fact, the ones that we all visited. And so yeah, these are all rivals as well, who insulted us. We got a lot of rivals currently. So yeah, that would be an option too, to instead deal with the domestic issues here. Both would be viable options. Now, as far as which one would be the bigger advantage for us, probably dealing with the domestic issues and taking all these titles, maybe weakening our brother here. Yeah, there's a lot of things we could gain from that. We got a lot of money currently as well, so we might want to start spending that, increasing our men-at-arms in preparation for this conflict. Yeah, we'll do all that next episode, guys. We could also do some building construction. We haven't done that in a while. So tons of stuff we could spend this money on. So yeah, we should probably start that before we finish the grand tour, so that way we'll be ready for the inevitable war, which again will either be a domestic conflict or the war with France. But yeah, we'll have our men-at-arms ready for that, and maybe we'll get those buildings constructed, you know, a little bit sooner. So yeah, we'll spend that money as soon as we come back in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.